Let's get into it, guys. Here at Drafting Out Loud, yesterday was Booty Day. Today, I think, is going to be Chris Bell Day because I pulled this first draft and Kayshon Boutte drafted right before me. This is unfortunate, but we knew it was going to happen. Basically, if you didn't get him yesterday, you probably aren't going to get him at all. And I was luckily drafting him in some drafts before that, like just like a pick earlier, as we saw too. This is one where I could have and I didn't. I did this on a number of drafts too, where I was like, I don't know what to take. There isn't anything that I really want here. I'll just take a third QB because I feel like at this point in time, things are drying up so much at the back end that like, okay, let me just get some QBs here in certain cases as well if I can't find something else that I like. Now, Chris Bell is actually cleared. He might even play in the preseason here. And there's talk that he would have been a first round pick if he didn't get hurt. So I think he's someone that we're going to just be targeting here with these drafts at this point in time. With this team here, I definitely could use another running back also, but I also could use a wide receiver considering I have JSN and then really no other like guaranteed like knock it out of the park starter after that. Um, Hopefully Marvin Harrison does something. Hoping Jaden Reed, Chris Godwin, like I think they all could outperform their ADP. At least these ones here. I don't know about Jacoby Lane. People are on high on him. I have my doubts. I don't even know why I drafted him on this team, other than he was past ADP. Because I don't have a stack or a bring back. Let's see here. Where did I take him? Here in the 14th round. Where are my QBs? Love, Darnold, Mendoza. Yeah, so like he's probably best available based on ADP, and I think you could pick Lane, Bryant, Flournoy, AD Mitchell. I don't know how you know which one's the better one out of those guys there. We took Fernando Mendoza here at 188, which was kind of like his ADP or whatever. We could we have, or should we have? This guy took Michael Penix right here. Why did he take Michael Penix? Does he have like, he's Drake London. I think we could have argued taking Kayshon Boutte here at this pick. We didn't have, oh, we had Green Bay guy. Yeah, I think we kind of made a little bit of a mistake here with the Fernando Mendoza pick, just a little bit. It makes sense why we did it. We had Brock Bowers, and there's a chance we don't get him back, and we didn't overdraft QB with two later round QBs. So Mendoza makes sense for this team. If we had earlier round QBs, then I think I'd definitely be kicking myself if we drafted Fernando Mendoza here. But it makes sense why we did what we did. He was last call at QB also because Aaron Rodgers had gone and Geno Smith had gone. And so if we don't take him and someone else takes him, then we're just down to a QB team, which is fine, but not ideal from just I don't know how best ball works perspective. So I think I don't think it's the worst mistake ever. Obviously, in hindsight, I think it is, but in not hindsight, I think it's an okay pick. We didn't know that he was going to get signed, get traded right after this draft pick right here. I definitely would have taken Boutte with this pick. As you can see, I have no one selected on here, so my guess is he was the one that was marked down to draft. We could definitely use running backs here, just because injured, kind of injured, kind of not. Like what's going on with him, we don't know. Maybe just ramping up, not injured, but ramping up, recovering. It was injured, and was injured. So I like this. I think there's a fun running back room. Like this is like high, all upside room right here, if you ask me. Um, Getting Bowers also makes your teams just look a little bit ugly because you're like, man, I'm kind of weak at wide receiver. Man, I'm kind of weak at running back just because I don't have people I can rely on right away. And even looking at my QB, I'm not like super locked in at QB here as well. Although I don't mind that QB room. This is fun. This is also why we did it. We're hoping Mendoza gets the starting job by week 11. So this is another reason why we took Mendoza instead of Boutte, probably also knowing that we we needed a QB if we wanted to have QB points in week 11. And I think Mendoza is the best shot at that. And he's a stack. So I think it makes it, whatever. It makes sense. We're just going to say it makes sense. So the next wide receiver that I think is of interest here is Chris Bell. We're not drafting a lot of Malik Willis, but I think we're going to have a good amount of Bell by the end of the year. We were drafting him every once in a while before, and we have kind of hammered him here this last couple days if Booty's not available type of thing. I think he does make sense here with this pick. And then probably a running back with the next pick. I think let's go look at our market movers here. Is Emmett Johnson still rising up the boards? Because he was, there goes Kayshawn, only 7 picks. That's kind of crazy. You think it'd be more than that? Because I don't see him go. Maybe it's all the slow drafts that are in there. Emmett Johnson's still rising up the boards. Chris Bell isn't rising up the boards yet, but I think there's a good shot that Chris Bell, they're like, why wouldn't he look at their team? A rookie already is kind of at the top of the depth chart. Why wouldn't Chris Bell be at the top of that depth chart by the end of the year? Emmett Johnson, you don't know if he's going to be at the top of the depth chart or not. It's not a stack. It's not a bring back. And Emmett Johnson's not an early season play. And I think we do have a team where if we are going to draft a running back, early season probably makes more sense than late season. In fact, go to the running backs. Who do we have? Green Bay, Seattle, Las Vegas. Is this where is he? George Holani team? It would be a stack. Holani's kind of, I think, expected to be playing at the beginning of the season at least. And he was playing in the playoffs last year. So he could get run the whole year depending on how he does it. It would be 3 week 11 running backs. But hopefully these guys are back and healthy and running strong by week 11. You could also argue for, when my next pick hits, is there a clear winner in the RB2 here of, I guess, is Black already drafted? It looks like Black was already drafted. Is Jordan James the clear RB2? Malik Davis is right now apparently the clear RB2. Maybe James Conner is traded and has a legit role. If Emmett Johnson made it back, I think we definitely have to kind of just click it and be like, okay, it's not the ideal pick, but maybe he gets some points for us if we need it. But I think probably something like that, depending on what gets back to us, makes the most sense. Listen to the news and hear what people have to say. Zamir White was just traded to New Orleans. Ronald Jones. Trey Benson was just cut and maybe not healthy, but maybe there's some news there. Chris Brooks is we already got Marshawn Lloyd we're betting on there, so we don't want him. Now we're just getting to some ugly picks here. Khalil Herbert, I don't think is on San Francisco anymore, but it shows him there on San Francisco. So I think we're going to take Chris Bell with this pick. And then if we wanted to, we could just take Torrey Horton. We have a good Seattle stack here, so we don't need that. But again, Holani might be part of that Seattle stack as well. We're going to evaluate the next pick, but I think Chris Bell's this pick. I expect him to be rising up the boards, even though he's not showing up as a riser yet. I got to imagine he will rise up the boards. We're going to do one more quick check on Chris Bell here. Do that on my phone. See if there's any new news. Chris Bell. He's active in team drills. 3 hours ago. Get ready to see Chris Bell in the preseason finale. He's got a chance to play. depending on how the practice goes. He shed the red contact jersey, non-contact jersey. Yeah, I think it's just like the highest swing upside play here. And when you get that tight end, you just need high upside swings at other positions. One of those would be, wide receiver here, considering we waited a while to get our second wide receiver on this team. We got plenty of stuff for the beginning of the season. Then I like it's kind of fun. Hopefully these guys carry us to start, and then like Casey Concepcion, Jacoby Lane, and or Chris Bell start picking up the slack if these guys start to struggle, or they just start adding more points to the team. Chris Bell, welcome to the team. Bing! Okay, next one. That one took a while to draft. Let's see if the rest of these go a little faster. Chris Bell was actually taking this one. You can see there's Kayshawn right there. Was this another one where what did we miss? What did we take instead of Kayshawn? What did we take? Pat Freiermuth, which read one report that he was supposed to be getting a lot of run, and now just listen to I can't recall who it was. Listen to some people that were saying that it might be a little more 50-50. So who knows if this was a good pick or not. It does stack with Aaron Rodgers. And I kind of like the QB room here, to tell you the truth, actually. You have your stud QB and Joe Burrow, and then you got these two guys afterwards. I don't mind that. Where did Kayshawn go? All the way over here. Darn. Last round pick. Because I wouldn't so if I would have known, if I hadn't heard the report about the tight ends earlier, and Pat Freiermuth at 195 is a decent pick, but mistake is a mistake. Kayshawn, and then you go and grab either Darnell Washington or Pat Freiermuth with your last pick. It doesn't even matter. I think is maybe the way this should be played. That being said, there's a chance Jermaine Bernard ends up being a better pick than Kayshon Boutte to begin with. I mean, Jermaine Bernard, second round rookie, that's better. When was Kayshon Boutte drafted? I don't think he was a second round pick. Maybe he was. Let's see. Second or third round pick, or maybe later. I don't remember exactly. Yeah, no, later, of course. Sixth round pick. So while he's out shooting his draft capital, at least right now, as far as where he's getting drafted, Jermaine Bernard, second round pick. Why can't he outperform Kayshon Boutte? Jermaine Bernard hopefully gets the slot role by the end of the year. Maybe even outperforms one of the other receivers. Maybe they play a lot more 3 wide receiver sets. So I don't think this is a nightmare scenario on this one if we take Jermaine Bernard instead of Kayshon Boutte. It also stacks up. It gives us a really nice Pittsburgh stack with Pat Freiermuth, Jermaine Bernard, and I think I have a running back as well, and Rico Dowdle. So what's fun about this too is we got the cheapest pieces of all of them. We got the cheaper running back, we got the cheapest wide receiver, and we got not the cheaper tight end, but both tight ends are cheap. So we got all the cheap pieces on this with the QB, and I think that's a fun way to play it. Like, what if the QB hits? If they hit, usually other pieces have to go along with it, not just their one top player or something like that. So hopefully this hits in a interesting way. We have a fun running back room here. No top running backs. What did we do with this? Okay. There's another one with the stud tight end. And so everything looks a little funny when you got that stud tight end on the team. Kind of not happy with this. Apparently Jalen Nailor struggling too relative to Trey Tucker. And so I wasn't drafting any Jalen Nailor until I started drafting some of them. And maybe that was a mistake. We'll see. It seemed like there were some good reports out there for him. Like he could be definitely a definite starter type of thing, but maybe a little off with that one. We're going to go Jermaine Bernard with this last pick to give us a 3-5-7-3, which is your standard build, and I think definitely makes sense for this team. Let's go to the next one. We got I haven't drafted Eli Raritan at all. I think I drafted him once in like a pre-draft. I know some people are drafting him. He is getting some buzz. Chris Bell is available here, by the way, as well. Do we get Keishon Boutte on this one? We did. We drafted him at 199. Was that with our last pick? It was. There goes Pat Freiermuth right there. So he got a better price on Pat Freiermuth than we did. There goes Jermaine Bernard. We got a better price on Jermaine Bernard than that guy did. Last round doesn't matter, right? Second last round doesn't matter. We only have one tight end on the team. It is Trey McBride. I don't know how. I mean, like Eli Raritan's got a little bit of buzz, but what I don't know if I really want to. When does he get drafted? Third round tight end. He can do some things. We do have New England already stacked up here with AJ Brown, Romeo Doubs. So we don't need. It's not like we're like naked. Drake May. This is another ones where we went a little unique. We took 2 early QBs because Hurts fell to us, and then Trevor Lawrence fell to us, and so we were able to. We already had Trevor Lawrence stacked up if we took him, so we just took him well past his ADP. 18 picks, more than a round past his ADP. We got Hurts 7 picks past ADP. I don't know if he's falling because he didn't do that well in the preseason game. And then we got Drake May with a pick right at ADP, which is stacking with AJ Brown. And then again, Romeo Doubs we got here too. We ended up stacking Jalen Hurts, which is nice, essentially at ADP, and Dontavian Wicks is still rising. Then we got the nice price on Keishon Boutte. We did go because we got another stud tight end on this one. Not something I was doing on like I just for stud tight end day, I guess is what it is, which is I'm not sure what. Let's go look at our leverage lab here. Let's see what our current ownership, and there's only the drafts that are finished. Bowers. Am I overweight on these players or just right in this pocket? I ended up with more of them. Let's find out. Brock Bowers. Okay, I'm at weight on Brock Bowers. You can see I was drafting. I was hitting on Keenan Allen. I won on Keenan Allen. I was drafting him instead of Pat Bryant, thinking that Keenan Allen gets steam first. Pat Bryant got steam first, so I kind of won and lost on that just a tad. Been drafting Marshawn Lloyd. Let's see if there's another fun player here. Deebo Samuel. There we go. We overdrafted Jakobi Meyers on this one. This team again. Brock Bowers is on this team. Brock Bowers, TJ Hawkinson at tight end. So 2 tight end team. Okay, I'm cool with that. We have at QB Matthew Stafford, Kyler Murray, Jaden Daniels. Wow. We went hard at Q. Okay, we got Kyler Murray 9 picks past ADP, at least past his ADP right now. I think he is falling a bit. Like all the QBs are falling just a bit, I think. So that was probably even more. That might be like a round or more than a round before. We got him stacked up with TJ Hawkinson at the very least. At wide receiver, we have Jakobi Meyers, Rashee Rice, Keenan Allen, Terry McLaurin, who's stacked up, Deebo Samuel, Puka Nacua, who's stacked up, Jalen McMillan, who's brought back. Okay, there we go. That's more than like we're definitely getting points to start the season at least. We don't have a lot of end of season upside, but that's what's going to happen. And hopefully these players are still just getting points all season long, right? Is what you're hoping. And then we have at running back, Braylon Allen. Got him late, it looks like. David Montgomery, got him a little late. Keaton Mitchell, got good CLV on him. J.K. Dobbins, drafted him a little earlier than his CLV goes. Marshawn Lloyd and Jaylen Warren getting decent CLV on both of them. The Jaylen Warren buzz is iffy both ways. And then at tight end, like we said, we got Hockenson and Bowers. Not a bad team at all. How about Trey McBride? I definitely slowed down on Trey McBride way early in the process before he started falling. I remember there was one team where I accidentally got him because my computer froze. Yeah, so I'm underweight on Trey McBride right now. He goes in the third round now. Now it's like, okay, why not take him, I guess, but still don't feel great about it overall. I could be wrong on that, but who knows? Let's see. We got a bunch with Stefon Diggs as well. Who else is fun? We got Jonathan Brooks on two of them. And Ricky Pearsall on one. Hopefully this is not the one with Ricky Pearsall. It's not. Okay. We have at QB, we have who do we have at QB? Jordan Love. We reached for just a little bit based on CLV, and then Jaden Daniels. So we're doing a lot of this like elite QB, even like two elite QBs. This is not really two elite QBs, but we were doing it. At running back, we have Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. Great CLV on that. Trevion Henderson, we're going to be losing more on that as well. He's banged up a little bit, and just more and more reports he's not going to be the first or second, not the first running back on the team. Chase Brown, J.K. Dobbins, we're going to lose a little bit on that one right there. And Jonathan Brooks, we're gaining on that one. So that looks nice. At wide receiver, Jalen Waddle, like it. Jermaine Bernard, he's just been falling. Just other people have gotten a little bit buzzy, and he just hasn't done anything to separate. In fact, there's talk that he's struggling to keep the number 3 job, which I think is or take the number 3 job, which I think is okay for the beginning of the season. Hopefully, he can do it by the end. Keenan Allen, Jaden Reed, Devo Samuel, Stefon Diggs, Amon-Ra. That looks good. And then at who's Jordan Love stacked up with? It's just a naked Jordan Love. Oh no, Jaden Reed. Okay. And then at tight end, we have Terrence Ferguson, nice CLV, Brenton Strange at cost, and a bring back on the Jane Daniels stuff. Do we have a third tight end on this one? Oh, we do. Whoa, that's a good tight end room. And Trey McBride. So we're feeling good about that tight end room. We were just drafting 2 tight ends and just tacking Terrence Ferguson to the end of all those teams. And now you can't do that. It's going to be like you got to draft Terrence Ferguson as your number 1 or number 2 tight end, unfortunately. The Colson Loveland is the one we've been attacking the most, I think, of the elite tight ends. Oops, let's refresh our synthesizer there so we can resynthesize. Loveland. Yeah, a little overweight. I think we were more overweight before. We just found some other players that we wanted to target as well. Let's see here. A lot, again, with Jonathan Brooks. Let's see if there's another fun one. DeAndre Swift has been rising up a lot lately. We got one with Jaden Higgins. That's unfortunate. Let's go look at Keenan Allen. Is this one with Jaden Higgins? Hopefully not. It's not. This one's not looking as hot, though. You can see that. Isaac Tesla falling a ton. That is a bring back on Chicago, so that's nice. Gadsden falling a ton because he's like the 3rd wide receiver, is at least he is a bring back on Patrick Mahomes. So, I mean, not the worst pick. Omar Cooper Jr. falling a ton because he can't even win the darn wide receiver 3 job, apparently, on the Jets. That's just not good. Mekhi Lemon falling because he can't stay healthy. Rashee Rice. Just people get a little worried about that one. D'Andre Swift rising. Marshawn Lloyd rising. There we go. They're not all winners. I don't know if this one's going to be a winner or not. Who do we have? We have Patrick Mahomes, Caleb Williams. Okay. There's the kind of like you're not really two elites a little bit. Patrick Mahomes not really getting drafted like an elite tight end or QB. So not a bad one overall. We got Caleb Williams stacked up with Colston Loveland and DeAndre Swift. We got to bring back with Jahmyr Gibbs and Isaac Tesla. And then we got other pieces on the team of varying quality. Some of them, a lot of them here we didn't get great prices on. That doesn't mean they can't hit though. So we will see. Which one are we on? Are we on this one? Oh, we took Bernard on this one. Okay. We're on this one. So why'd we go down that road? Oh, because of the early tight ends, which we seem to have run into a pocket of all elite tight end teams. So I think it's between like getting a second tight end. And Trey McBride is the least drafted of those elite tight ends. Or do we just stick with only Trey McBride and see if we can make it work? Like, is Eli Raridan going to be the one that helps us win the league? I think Chris Bell is a better. We did because we went Trey McBride. We did have to sacrifice at wide receiver a bit. We got Parker Washington. We pulled him up actually in this one to the 55 earlier than we had. I think it's the earliest we've ever pulled him up. Jalen Hurts fell, so we just took him, which is a little unfortunate. Like this would have been better if we did like Downs or Reed right here. If we knew that to Lawrence. But problem is, if we go Downs or here, we'll probably go Lawrence here, right? There's no chance. You just don't know that Lawrence is going to fall all the way to 9.7, pick 103. So it is what it is. Because I wouldn't have let him fall, probably. I'd probably take him here instead of Brooks and see if Brooks falls, but I'm not sure. Brooks' team probably wouldn't have gotten there either. So I don't know. I don't know what the right play is for something like that. Last pick, we have a very fragile, there's like a zero RB room. Very like we're using Cam Scatterbo as our hero RB room kind of type of thing. We're playing for end of season definitely with this running back room. We have 6 of them. I don't think grabbing a 7th makes sense. You could say like grab George Halani for some guaranteed points at the beginning of the season. That being said, I think everyone here could get us points at the beginning of the season. I just don't know how many points. And is Halani just tacking on another meh score on this team with 6 of them already there vying for a spot, even if some of them aren't for some reason, like Keith Mitchell, maybe just slightly banged up. Cam Scatterbo, a little bit like what's going on. Brooks has been named part starter, like committee starter. Chris Rodriguez seems to be challenging for the number 1 running back as well. I think he was named a co-starter also. At wide receiver, we don't really have like I think that maybe Chris Bell is the right pick on this team. And I don't think it's close, actually. I mean, it's probably close with one tight end. Okay, so let's think this through. This is my thought process here that I'm thinking through. And it's about I'm putting the air quotes here, you can't see it. Winning the flex is what I'm thinking about here. In that I don't think that any of these guys here I don't think I'm winning the flex with this in general. Like I have some explosiveness here, but in general, I don't think I'm like guaranteed to win the flex with this running back room. That's what happens when you wait until the 4th round to grab your first running back. The chances of you winning the flex with running back it's rather difficult, especially when you pull up Parker Washington. It makes it even harder. And also when you grab a tight end early and then 2 elite QBs, it's going to make it hard to win the flex as well because you're investing so much in the onesies. You're not investing in the flex nearly as much. So how do I win the flex here? I don't think Romeo Dobbs is winning I mean, these guys probably aren't winning the flex either, though. So who maybe is winning? Who's like an outside chance of maybe winning the flex if he goes ballistic as the number one wide receiver on Miami? And he doesn't even need Willis to do well because Bell, maybe gets either deep targets or PPR scams it with a bunch of screens and stuff like that. I mean, we're telling a story. Here's what we're doing. But and Raritan's not winning the flex either, right? Raritan's just getting me a couple points. I don't think he's winning the flex. I could be wrong. If he is winning the flex, I'm in trouble with all my leagues probably. Chris Bell has got to be the pick here because he gives me the best chance of winning the flex. I hopefully can win at QB with one of these guys, right? I got like two elites, almost like two and a half elites. Elite QB, smorgasbord of running backs, and three top guys with a bunch of with a number of, you expect to be very serviceable guys at different points in time throughout the season, whether that's early, late, or both. Chris Bell. We're going individual tight end on this team. I think it's the first time I've drafted a one tight end team this year. Who knows if I even drafted one last year? I doubt it. But we're going one tight end. One tight end. No one's queued up on this one either. RJ Harvey's still available. 6 picks after ADP. He's not someone that I'm like overdrafting, RJ Harvey, but I think I still am intrigued at the very least. I'm slightly ahead of weight here with RJ Harvey, drafting on average based on his ADP. So you can say I definitely wasn't hammering him as his ADP was when his ADP is lower, and I think it's been turned out for the best actually, getting probably overall decent prices on RJ Harvey. Not in love with him, not in love with him, but and then with the next pick, don't mind it. Like that would be my fourth running back already. JCM's interesting too. We don't have this. I think I have a lot more JCM overall because I just was very much attacking him. 9.4, but that's going to go up probably is what's going to happen. You can see a good price overall right now. That'll go down, right, as everything. But let's go back to Harvey. Do I have any Harvey? And who was my first pick on this team? Bijan Robinson, obviously. Do I have any Harvey Bijan Robinson? I don't. Okay. So that's gives me a reason to take him as well. He's past ADP. It's just an interesting profile. I think these are all guys that I can take with the next pick. I don't think I want to pull up Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt if I go RJ Harvey here. RJ Harvey might even be a better pick than Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt in some ways, and that like if RJ Harvey's more of a late round hammer because J.K. Dobbins gets hurt or something like that, versus Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, who's been on the field all season long, not really a late round hammer. Are they rising up? Let's go see if they're rising up the board still or anything like that. Is Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt still rising up the board? He is. 2 picks, or a pick in the last 2 days, 6 picks or 7 picks in the last 7 days. So he's rising up like looks like a pick a day here, little like 0.6 picks here, and then 21 picks in the last 30 days. So obviously the rise has happened more in the last like 2 weeks, week and a half type of thing. And it looks like it's starting to slow down just a tad. Still some uncertainty on who's going to be the RB1 over there in Washington. Is Harvey a faller? Let's find out. Okay, RJ Harvey is not one of the main fallers, at least. And he's not like a value player or anything like that either. Only one person between us and our next pick. He's got 4 wide receivers, 2 running backs, so he's most likely going to draft either like a running back and a wide receiver, like, a running back and something else, most likely, I'd say, is what he's probably going to do. If we take RJ Harvey, and Chuba's falling down the boards, right? Is he still falling down the boards? No, he's not falling down the boards anymore. Okay, so I'm not as fast at least. So he is kind of stalled out here at pick, and that's where I drafted him, I think, in one league. Okay, so don't feel as bad about that I took him there. Don't feel as bad. Um, if I do take Harvey here, though, he that leaves him Chuba and Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. He either has to go with the less desirable guy probably right now because Ja'Cory's still rising up the boards, even though Chuba's not falling fast. Things are frozen here just a tad. Trying to see if Harvey's still falling on my other screen too. So that's just adding to things. But let's say, for example, I take Harvey. That forces him to take, if he wants a running back, Chuba, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. He can either take the inferior guy, Chuba, or take the more maybe desired guy, Ja'Cory, right now, is my guess, just because I think those are going to flip here. And then if he does take Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, then he's got, oh, that's week 7. I was thinking it was week 11 for some reason. Because he's got Jahmyr Gibbs. I was thinking that he's going to have 2 guys in week 11, but no. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt's week 7. So is Harvey still falling down the boards? We're going to find out right now. No. Okay. He's actually risen the last 2 days. I think it's because of him, catching a bunch of passes. I think even one of them was a TD maybe in the preseason game or something like that. And so people get more excited. Oh, look at that. He can catch passes. Like, duh, he can. I think Harvey's the first pick, and then I don't know who the second pick is when it gets to us out of these. We have, oh, he's got Tucker Kraft on his team. He pulled Tucker Kraft up a bunch, not a bunch, but you don't usually see him on the left-hand side of the board. We have Christian Watson and Jayden Reed. I know this is a little unique, but I think Matthew Golden might have to be our second pick if he's available, because then can we convince everyone else to let Jordan Love fall to us at 119? It's only a couple picks past ADP, but if we corner the market on Green Bay on the left-hand side of the board here, it would make sense for him to make it back, assuming this guy doesn't take him because he's got 0 QBs. And if he does, whatever he does. And then maybe we just take Michael Wilson, who I think it is more intriguing. We got another elite tight end kind of in Tyler Warren here on this one. Who I think is a little bit more, should call it, intriguing than once thought. The Puka Nacua reference might actually be true in that it might actually mean he's getting more of the motion work, and with that motion work, a lot more interesting, easy targets versus just being a sprinter down the side of the field, which is what he kind of was earlier in his career, if I'm not mistaken, if he got playing time. While Marvin Harrison might be that sprinter, and he's the non-interesting guy. I think it's something like this is the way we're looking at it. Maybe like that, maybe like this. I'm experimenting with pushing wide receiver or QB in these drafts. And I think this is probably the way that I would do it on this one. Tyler Warren, how much Tyler Warren do I have? Considering he is slightly above the field on Tyler Warren as well. Almost only taking him when he falls for the most part, except for like maybe one or two times just because I felt like I was doing the same thing too many times. Hey, I got a team with him, and I got three teams with him and Keenan Allen, and I got one with him stacked with Daniel Jones. Okay, no bring back, unfortunately. Let's see if this is a good team. Overall, looks like a solid team. Antonio Williams, ouch. Is he stacked probably? Or is it brought okay, he's stacked and brought back because Washington is playing Washington is playing Jacksonville. Interesting team overall. The Antonio Williams pick maybe could have been something different, but we got at QB Daniel Jones, Trevor Lawrence, he fell to us, and Jaden Daniels, who fell to us. At running back, we have RJ Harvey, who fell to us, Jeremiah Love, who is falling, Ja'Cory Cross-Merritt, who fell to us and stacked. Maybe at the time, maybe that's where he was going though. Marshawn Lloyd and Jahmyr Gibbs. Okay, I like it. Wide receiver Rashee Rice, Jameson Williams, Deebo Samuel, great ADP value. Keenan Allen, great ADP value. Rome Odunze, we pulled up because we were going to be we were thinking about doing a Detroit-Chicago thing, which we never did. So we got bad ADP value on Rome Odunze. That's okay. Stefon Diggs, good ADP value. And stacked. Right. Boom, and stacked. Antonio Williams, bad ADP value, but stacked. And then Tyler Warren is our other, and their tight ends, Chig, Tyler Warren, Terrence Ferguson. I think that's a good team. Is that a good team? I think that's a good team. Okay. I think RJ Harvey's the pick here because then I think we are thinking about Matthew Golden with our second pick to try to get Jordan Love as our first QB. It'd be crazy if Dart and Love make it to us. I think we'd have to still take Love first if that happened, and then hope that he passes on Dart because we'd have the triple stack on Green Bay if that happens. But we're going to take the ADP value on RJ Harvey, who is kind of rising up the boards. Not rising, but just slowly ticking up the boards due to catching some passes in the preseason. Why not? Why not? Okay. Let's do it. We got one more left here on underdog. Oh, first round, and we have okay, James Cook selected. I think James Cook is a fun pick. Running backs, there's just nothing available late at running back at all, and I think I'm probably like equal weight on CeeDee Lamb and James Cook, but I think James Cook might be the better pick overall. We know what CeeDee's going to do. I don't think it's going to be more. We're at the field at CeeDee with CeeDee. We are below the field right now. James Cook, I expect after these drafts finish that we'll have more James Cook, not like more than CeeDee Lamb, but like equal or something like that. Looks like we put together maybe some decent teams with. Oh, that's not good. 80% of our James Cook's teams have Ladd McConkey. Okay. Let's go Ladd. Three of them, so lots of them have what was that? What's it? 80%? 60% have Waddle or Diggs. We got great CLV on Diggs here on these three teams in general. Again, you can see what we were doing here. Two teams with Samuel, two teams with Keenan Allen. So we're essentially trying to build teams and see if we get some awesome late round value at wide receiver. Looks like we don't have Debo and Keenan Allen on a team. That's okay. We got better CLV on Keenan Allen, so let's just do that right there. No, we got one with Debo and Keenan Allen. Okay, let's see what that team looks like. James Cook in the first round, probably, right? Let's see. Oh no, we got him at pick 12. Okay, but yeah, so first round. We got a Jordan. So this is the type of team you want to have a Jordan Tyson on, probably, because we do have Diggs, Debo, Keenan Allen, hopefully being able to take on like that injury risk there of Jordan Tyson. We have Skylar Bell. Does that mean we also have Josh? Okay, so we have two elite type QBs. Josh Allen, we probably had him fault time, but we drafted him at ADP now. We got Caleb Williams falling 10 picks. Well, like a roam team. Yep, a roam team. Ugly tight ends. Gunnar Helm. That was an L. I bet you we could have gotten like Terrence. Well, there was like one or two drafts where I was like, you know what? Other people seem to be really high on Gunnar Helm and not Terrence Ferguson. And I got so much Terrence Ferguson already. Let me just take Gunnar Helm on this one. If this is one of those teams, I'm gonna kick myself. But okay, Harold Fannin, week 11. So maybe that's at least, whatever. I don't really care about the buy there, but Harold Fannin, Jake Ferguson, and Gunnar Helm. Not a horrible tight end room. Harold Fannin, I think, is an interesting play. Jake Ferguson, just a solid player, hopefully. And then Gunnar Helm is a worrying player. Looks like we are losing a little bit of CLV here on RJ Harvey, but he is rising, so we might gain that back. First two picks were Cook and Barkley. That's interesting. Who are other running backs with it? RJ Harvey. And do we have one more? Spears. Okay. We'll take that as our running back room. We could have gotten a Lloyd instead of a Spears. I would have liked that more, but I don't know if this was taken probably before Lloyd was even running basically. At least running the way he's running now. Wide receiver, Lad McConkey, Skylar Bell, Jordan Tyson, Stephon Diggs, Casey Concepcion. That might be good CLV by the end. Roma Dunze with at CLV, basically. Debo, great CLV. Oh, we got Dylan Sampson on this one as well. Okay, another running back. Keenan Allen. Overall, I think it's a good team also. And again, this might be the type of team where we drag a Jordan Tyson along and other teams that were failing with Jordan Tyson because of how they build him, we might succeed with Jordan Tyson. That'd be cool if that actually happened on the team. Okay. Did we draft this one yet or not? Oh, so we're just gonna take James Cook here. Why not? I think I I don't like him for the end of the season, but now there's been more reports of him maybe catching more passes. It makes him even more intriguing, possibly. So let's just take him here at 9 and see what happens if CeeDee Lamb fell. That'd be cool. Sometimes he does. I don't think I've gotten lucky enough to have him fall, but other people have. DraftKings, we got one team going on. Ryan Flournoy, I think Kayshon Boutte must have got drafted on this one. I think he was like, I feel like I had Flournoy and Kayshon as two picks. If I get one of them, that'd be good. Yeah, look at that. Kayshon Boutte pick went 189. This guy elected not to draft, go get Flournoy. He doesn't have 7 wide receivers, so maybe that's why. He took Alvin Kamara instead. I think it's his 5th running back, I guess. But this will be our 8th wide receiver on the team. We do have Dart, and so Flournoy would be a bring back on this. This guy's only got 4 wide receivers, so we're not getting a wide receiver to come back. We got a Bijan Robinson, Cam Scatabo in the 5th, Ramondre Stevenson end of the 7th. Hopefully Stevenson starts off strong and Scatabo picks it up. We did go take Dart here, which was a little tough of a pick considering who else was available. Oh, Patrick Mahomes, right? Do we have Rice? We have Rice. So it's like, do we double stack Dart or take Patrick Mahomes. We decided to double stack Dart just because we have a lot of Patrick Mahomes. Not as much Dart, not as much Neighbors. So if this hits, let's hope it hits well. Casey Conception here, Devon's dribbling there. Those are two good picks, I think, overall. This guy got a falling worthy with Mahomes. Lucky for him. We got a falling Chris Rodriguez as our fourth running back. We definitely need more running backs on this team, but I think we cannot pass up on the value here of Ryan Flournoy. We do have Najee Harris queued up, which I think probably makes a lot of sense for this team. Chris Bell doesn't make as much sense for this team, considering we have Neighbors and Rice and Burden and Concepcion and Stribling. In the real world, we only have two wide receivers for the very, very, very beginning of the season, potentially, in Reed and Shaheed. And Flournoy, who's not even, a starter, in three wide receiver sets, he's a starter. So I think maybe just taking like Najee Harris makes more sense than taking Bell on this team, unfortunately. Or grabbing Brian Robinson Jr. or a Najee Harris. Brian Robinson Jr. would be a cuff of Bijan Robinson. Najee Harris is a cuff of Cam Scatabo. Najee Harris is slightly going up the boards. Brian Robinson, I think, is kind of staying pat, but let's take a look again and find out. Go to our DraftKings market movers instead of our underdog market movers, sees what is happening there. Casey Concepcion rising up the boards over here on DraftKings, apparently. There's Marshawn Lloyd, there's Terrence Ferguson. So Najee Harris isn't moving up fast, at least. Sam Laporta falling down the boards pretty quick. I don't know. I've been trying to find something that's saying like this is a worse injury than it is. I haven't been able to find anything that says this is a worse injury than it is. So I think people are kind of like mixing up the back injury from last year with the hip injury. I think I'm taking a falling Sam Laporta. I took a falling Sam Laporta like 15 picks at past ADP in a eliminator draft, I think it was, where I had Brock Bowers already. And so I'm hoping Brock Bowers helps get me through week one. I think I'm just going to stop at two tight ends unless something crazy happens. And then you're just like, okay, Brock Bowers, Sam Laporta, get me through, and I'm going to figure out the rest of the team everywhere else. A little nervous about it, but take the ADP value and try to get unique. You don't have to be as unique in eliminator, I don't think, but Sam Laporta could easily be the flex when you're getting him 15 picks past ADP. And I think there still might be some fun picks for me with the next pick anyways. So that's what we did there. Okay, so I'm thinking about this one here, and we're definitely going Flournoy with this pick, and I think we'd probably go like Brian Robinson Jr. with the next pick if he makes it to us, is kind of what I'm thinking right now. Like I said, we are a little weak at running back. I don't think cuffing Brian Robinson Jr., Bijan Robinson with Brian Robinson Jr. makes the most sense on this team, but I think there's a chance we get Najee Harris to come back to us at pick 215, which is like around his ADP. You got to think that these guys are pretty strong at running back, considering I'm weak at running back, and he looks rather weak at running back as well with the six. He's got these four of his six running backs, and so you got to think that the other teams are pretty darn strong at running back overall, and so hopefully running backs just kind of start falling in the next round, and we play like the game of like, oh, you need this, well now I need that, and I need that, now you need this type of thing, and we hopefully benefit from all that. A Kenyon Sadiq fall would be fun on this one, maybe if you made it. Yeah, like we have Strange and Schultz. We got no like huge upside. I don't think we have as much upside as other teams at tight end for this team. I think grabbing the running back now with the second pick makes more sense, though, so he makes it back to us. This guy that has 6 running backs might also take another running back, but he's only got 4 wide receivers. He definitely needs wide receivers. He could take like Tank Dell and Douglas or something like that. We're going to go Flournoy here, and we're going to get Brian Robinson Jr. just because he's like the best available running back, and hope that Kenyon Sadiq, Najee Harris make it back to us. If Chris Bell makes it back to the next round, I still don't know if we should take him on this team. We might be struggling for points to start the season, and we don't want to fall too far behind because we are struggling at both running back potentially, both running back and wide receiver, just due to like injuries and like people that are they just don't seem like they're getting the run you'd expect to start. So I think Chris Bell probably is going to be like a no-go for this team almost. It makes Kenyon Sadiq drafting a little bit harder, but I do have 2 tight ends for now, so we can maybe afford the upside if he does make it to us with our 18th round pick. Ryan Flournoy, welcome to the team. Well, that's already 8 wide receivers. So yeah, I don't know if Chris Bell would even make it as I don't even think a 9th wide receiver on this team makes a lot of sense. We probably need like upside tight end and 2 running backs is probably what we're going to do, but we'll figure it out as we go. Okay. That is what we got. 1 draft. We're 1 pick away here. No one queued up. Let's see if we just missed out on Kayshon Boutte. Oh, darn. We did by a little bit. There he goes. We took Emmett Johnson as our 5th running back because he's rising up the boards. Was he a stacker or a bring back? He wasn't. We are a little weak at running back, and then we started with 2 strong ones, and then we got Tony Pollard. And well, that's not us. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we took Greg Dulcich. Why? Oh, okay. We are really weak at tight end with Juwan Johnson, our only tight end. I think he was probably falling at that point with that pick. I don't mind it. There isn't a lot available to get. Ferguson, where did Ferguson go? That's interesting. I think I made a mistake on this one. Harris is a bring back on Patrick Mahomes. I'm thinking about it now, like obviously with the rise in Ferguson, I should have just went Ferguson here and said screw the bring back. That's what I should have done. That stinks. Oh well, you make some mistakes on teams, I guess, as you go. And that one is we're leaving on a sour note here on this one. That's a blunder as far as that goes. We are looking rather not strong at wide receiver though, so I don't know. Terrence Ferguson was the pick though on this one instead of Trey Harris. Should have went Ferguson, then Cooper, and then I don't have to take Dulcich here, which is fine. Oh wait, do we have Malik Willis on this one? No, we don't. Malik Willis right here. We do have Patrick Mahomes. We already have 5 running backs with Lloyd as our 5th. We're looking very strong at running back on this one with Cook, Brown, Scatterbo, Judkins, and Lloyd. Darn, the Ferguson pick bugs me a little bit. Okay, well, cry with me in the chat. You'd be the first one to do it. See you on the next one. Peace.